Chapter 7. Battle off the coast of Spain. The Rodney's orders came suddenly. Sail for the French coast to join the fight against Napoleon's forces. Joseph stood on deck as the great ship's sails unfurled, catching the wind. The harbor faded into the distance. In his heart, Joseph still thought about home, but the roar of the sea and the calls of the crew soon pulled him into the present. Their first stop was Cadiz, Spain, where the French army had been bombarding the city. British and Spanish warships waited in the harbor, their decks bristling with cannons. These Spanish ships were survivors of the Battle of Trafalgar, now in need of repair and reinforcements. Joseph was chosen as one of 50 men to help crew a Spanish warship called the Apollo. She was a grand vessel, but the work was hard and the seas were unforgiving. Shortly after leaving the safety of Gibraltar, a violent Mediterranean gale swept down on them. Sailors called this kind of storm a levanter. The wind screamed through the rigging, and waves slammed against the hull so hard the timbers groaned. Water poured over the deck as men fought to keep the ship afloat. Pumps clanked day and night, muscles aching, hands raw from the work. Some of the Spanish sailors lit candles around religious statues, praying to the saints for protection. Joseph respected their sincerity, but he knew it was the Lord alone who could truly save them. After days of battling the storm, they limped back to Gibraltar for repairs. Once the Apollo was seaworthy again, they set off to rejoin the Rodney. The reunion didn't last long. Alongside another Spanish warship, the Rodney sailed toward Malaga and straight into the sights of Napoleon's army on shore. French cannon thundered from the fortress. Iron shot screamed overhead or splashed into the sea. The Rodney's captain barked orders, and the crew ran to their guns. Joseph watched as 32-pound cannonballs from their own side tore into the enemy's ranks. Then came an order Joseph would never forget. The sails had to be furled, rolled, and tied up to prevent damage. But instead of waiting for the enemy's fire to slow, the captain ordered all hands aloft immediately. Joseph scrambled up the rigging with the others, the wind tugging at their clothes, musket balls and cannon shot whizzing past. From that high perch, one good hit could send a man tumbling into the sea, or worse. Yet they worked quickly, rolling the heavy canvas and lashing it in place. Not one man was struck, though Joseph knew it was only by God's mercy. By late afternoon, the battle ended. The French had been driven back to their fortress, but the beach was littered with the fallen. Survivors waded into the sea, desperate to reach the British boats. Joseph watched the boats row out, pulling men from the water. Some made it, others were lost to musket fire or the waves. As the sun dipped low, the Rodney sailed away, the smell of gunpowder lingering in the air. Joseph knew he had just tasted the reality of war, and that the God who had spared him that day was the only one who could keep him safe through the battles still to come. Lesson for the journey: God's protection is not always about keeping us out of danger. It's often about carrying us through it. When we walk with Him, we can face even life's fiercest battles without fear. Bible verse: The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust. Psalm 18:2.